Starting off my morning getting some coffee from my local grocery store, and I'm coming out looking at the M2. And if you didn't see the last video, we just added all of this carbon fiber to the car. And to be honest, it doesn't look great right now. We have carbon fiber fenders, carbon fiber hood, all the carbon on the front bumper. We have carbon fiber side skirts, carbon fiber trunk, and our diffuser, but on a stock ride height and stock wheels and tires. The car just doesn't look great. And we are on the mission to fix all of that, but today we're gonna be focusing on something different. God, that sounds terrible. So I made an overnight delivery purchase for our friends over at Valvetronic Exhaust. This should help us get the noise we want out of the M2, but just in case this isn't enough, I got a set of downpipes from our friends over at Cencal. So now, by the end of this video, there is no way this M2 doesn't sound as good as possible. You guys know the drill. Before we install everything, we need to disassemble everything. Luckily for us, we have worked on quite a few BMWs before. So here's the side-by-side comparison of the stock exhaust, which has a huge muffler, a resonator, more resonators, and that like almost looks like a resonator, but I don't think it is. And now with the Valvetronic exhaust, we have one resonator right here, and we have 3-inch going all the way back, which I think it gets to 3.5 or almost 4 inches. No resonators in between, and we're gonna be adding 2 valves that are gonna be better and stronger than the stock valves in the OEM exhaust. And I don't know what it is exactly, but the Valvetronic exhaust is significantly lighter than the stock exhaust, which is always a plus. But before we go ahead and start installing everything, we still need to remove these factory downpipes, which are not the most fun thing to take out. They're pretty buried up there. It's not the easiest thing to do, but it's definitely doable. Now that the downpipes are out, we're gonna put the new ones in, but putting the downpipes in on these cars is a lot more difficult than taking them out. Calvin wants me to be on the bottom, and he wants himself to be on top.
No, I want you to be on top.
So I'll be on the bottom, and then you'll be on the top.
I walk in here and that's what I'm.
Who's gonna be on the bottom?
You're gonna be on the bottom. No, I'm gonna be on the bottom holding the pipe, and you're gonna be on top.
Are we talking about cars here?
Yes, Oscar. Before we put in the new exhaust from Valvetronic, we're gonna do a little bit of slight modification. The factory exhaust comes with valves, and the way that you control it is through the M1 and M2 buttons on the car. And there's actually an exhaust valve button on the car. Now, some of you guys might know where I'm going with this. The Valvetronic exhaust comes with its own set of motors for the valved exhaust, and you have to wire the module to the battery, and then you have an external remote. Thanks, Calv. And you have an external remote to open them. Our thought is we want to swap the OEM valves to the Valvetronic valve so that it can be controlled through the car. I have a slight suspicion that there's a reason why they have a separate valving system, but none of us quite know.
Yeah.
Calvin, does this remind you of anything? Your rigatoni?
Oh, that is probably accurate.
We went from rigatoni to macaroni.
We downsized?
We downsized.
What happened?
Sorry guys, I hate to tell you, but Dylan put on the first piece of the Valvetronic exhaust without showing you guys, so it's not on. So he didn't film it being on. He apologizes. Now it's time for the final piece. Technically not, because we'll still have to do the exhaust tips, but you guys know what I mean. I think we know why they make you do new valves.
No, we're not giving up yet.
Let me show you.
Yep.
So here are the plugs for the OEM valves, and on the stock exhaust they go about here, but on this exhaust they go way over here, and they do not reach. But don't worry, we have the wiring god. We have the guy who redid all the wiring on the 458 when it was cut in half, who wired up other things, he wired up the lights on the 488 and they caught on fire. But beyond that, we have the guy for the job. It's Calvin. Are you gonna extendo clippo cousin?
I'm gonna shove a cuz right into your cuz. Cuh.
I couldn't decide what exhaust tip to order, so I got one of everything for us to decide which one we liked most. There is a carbon fiber tip. No. I'm sick, I think. You know that feeling we all get when we get that car part finally delivered to our door and we run outside to get it and we're super excited? Well, that's how I feel about factory meals. With Factor meals, I can get fresh, never frozen food delivered to my door that I can make in just 2 minutes. They have over 100 different weekly options that you can choose from, and they get delivered to you in this box that has these freezer bags in it, so your food stays fresh while you wait to open it. You can skip the prep and the cleanup because you can make these meals in just 2 minutes. And as I've gotten older, I've really started to care about the ingredients that I put into my body, and Factor doesn't use refined seed oils, refined sugars, refined colors, or refined artificial flavors. And on top of that, most of their meals have over 30 grams of protein, ranging all the way up into the 50s. This one's 40, this one's 40, this one's 44, and they're all calorie efficient, meaning that they're not gonna be overloading you with calories, so it's the right amount of food to keep you filled up until the next meal. And on top of that, they actually have foods that I enjoy, like this chicken Alfredo. And I feel like that's the most important thing for me. I'm a really picky eater, and I always find it hard to find things that I always enjoy, but Factor has an endless amount, like I mentioned. So there's always something that piques my interest, and oftentimes when I try something new, I always like it. Oh gosh. So do yourself a favor and start eating healthy and cut out all the junk food. Make that your New Year's resolution for 2026. So head over to factor75.com or click the links down below and use code HUNTFB50 to get 50% off your first meal. And with that code, Factor is also throwing in free breakfast for a year. That's code HUNTFB50 at factor75.com. Thank you, Factor, for sponsoring today's video, and now let's get back to it.
This is a 3.5-inch stainless steel tip.
Yes.
A 3.5-inch black chrome. Or
I'm down. Yeah, I'm down.
stainless tip. And then a 4-inch stainless steel tip. I think. Maybe this is 3.5. Maybe this is 3. Regardless, bigger, smaller, different color, different tip.
I'll go wherever the wind takes us, but I prefer the 2 small ones.
We're gonna see which one looks the best. Not bad.
It's not bad.
I mean, compared to what this size would be, I feel like that looks too small. That
Okay.
looks like it doesn't have a tip on it.
Yeah, I agree.
You're going to agree.
I agree. We need this size and stainless steel is what we need.
They don't make it.
That's just a lot.
Yeah, I mean the
Like when you have one exhaust,
When
like
you
fart
when you
can.
hit the right angle and you see how small that is, that's where I like it from the rear view, but I don't like it from the side. It looks too hollow.
I might be old, but my personal opinion is that seems try hard.
Well, no, the color is try hard. The size is perfect. The color's try hard. That looks so good, but
Yeah, what I don't like is the viewpoint from this point of view where you see all the blue to silver. It looks like way too busy. And it looks terrible right now with the car being half carbon, half paint, and then they're just adding more color to all of this. But I think I'm gonna agree with Dylan and Anthony. The stainless, smaller tips
It's happening. It's happening.
are the move, I think.
Dude, the poles are shifting. It's good.
got a lot of eyeballs driving this thing around yesterday.
I felt so embarrassed driving it with all the exposed carbon.
You know what this car's like? You know when you get your car and you have like new bumper or new something on it, you haven't made it to the wrap shop yet, and you just like pray to God nobody sees you driving on the road.
Every time someone saw me, I'm like, oh, it's just a transitional phase, dude. I'm waiting up. I'm saving up right now. I'm saving up to get it fixed. Everyone's been in that state of where like, you know what? Side tangent. You want to know who I feel is always in that state? I wasn't gonna say you. I wasn't gonna say you, but that is crazy. I think Dylan will attest to this. It's like Tacomas and Rangers.
Pre-runners? Yeah, but okay.
Every pre-runner build will put fenders on it and just never paint it.
Here's what happened. Got to a point where everyone did that, couldn't afford to paint it or wrap it, to where it became its own style. Just like missile cars, right? Like
You're telling me, okay, I don't see it on S13s and 40s.
so-
You're telling me these pre-runner street builds are doing it on purpose?
some are. I think it became just as like football helmet Z's became, no bumper front bash bar in the front.
Football helmet is
That's
crazy.
a
It's the
crazy-
first time I've ever heard that.
I think people did it out of necessity. They couldn't afford it, whatever. And then people go, "Oh, I see that," and then it kind of subconsciously becomes a thing, and it becomes a style. So I can promise
See that? But I'm still like, that's crazy.
It's not my favorite, but like that's what happened. People then choose, I'm gonna powder coat my bash bar and leave it
Like
exposed.
how Infiniti G37s get exposed carbon fenders and leave it.
Honeycomb carbon fenders. though.
Honeycomb.
Yeah.
Yeah, but pre-runners for sure. Because also like, dude, the nice carbon stuff or like the McNeil Racing, shout out Mark. It's really nice, expensive. So you kind of show it off.
The more you know, I'm not cultured.
Again, we're trying to use the stock button because how cool would it be? No extra parts. Just press the M2 button and you're going. What I did was I cut off the little pigtail here and I'm extending it with some wire. Once it's in, it'll reach. Bing, bang, bosh, you put it away. turn it on and listen to how
Hopefully. Hopefully. We go and we try and it doesn't work. That's not gonna happen. I don't see a reason why it shouldn't work. Now we're gonna wipe down all the titanium exhaust, get it cleaned up, and we should be able to do our first start. And I wanna check to make sure that these valves actually work. All right, we're gonna test to see if the valves actually work. I hope that they do. I think that they will.
S58 sound good. I'm trying to tell you.
That is so loud. Oh, your low turbo. Closed.
Rolling rocks down a hill.
It sounds a lot better than the M4. Damn! How did the tips look?
They look a little small, but they look good.
They do look a little small, but the other ones, it's would have been too big.
Yeah.
Dude, this thing's gonna be a beauty. Why does this sound better than I feel like the M4 did? No, but the old exhaust. The original exhaust I did on the M4 was very similar to this.
Here's my theory. I have no idea. This car's shorter by quite a bit, so it would change the exhaust sound, I think.
It sounds really good. Like, I'm actually very surprised. Sounds better than I thought.
Wait, picture this. Close your eyes. Rolling rocks down a hill.
Sound like rocks tumbling down like a tarmac.
It sounds sick. High RPM exhaust closed. Sounds sick.
Okay, let's go drive it. What's interesting is that with the valves open and while you're driving, it's not that loud on the inside. It's loud on the outside, but while driving, you still get a lot more exhaust, but it's not like a drony loud system. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. These new modern cars are just very good at sound detonation.
It's very wild. Oh my God.
You can hear it echo.
You can hear it echo off of all the buildings. Wow. All right, I want Twan to drive this car so I can hear it from the outside. Normally, I'm the one driving it. I don't get to hear it from the outside. So right now, we're gonna switch that up. You can hear it echo over the whole entire field. It's not as raspy as I thought it would be, which I actually really like. It has the very aggressive BMW burble tune, which we won't be able to change until we tune the car or use MHD to kind of back down all the burbles. I don't hate it, but at certain times it can get annoying. He's banging limiter at the top. Yeah, it sounds good. I give it a thumbs up. The thing looks bitchin' moving too. Even with all the exposed carbon and stuff, looks super good. Dude, I wish you guys could hear it. It literally echoes over this whole valley. God, now all I can think about is just fixing the way that it looks. It's coming, boys, it's coming. I promise, I promise.
I missed the aggressive shift to third.
Oh, it sounded like you were banging limiter.
I was in second, and I went to shift to third, and I missed it,
It happens to the best of us.
I fucking missed
Some of
it.
us have even misshifted and grenaded gearboxes and
It sounds good.
No, it does.
It sounds good.
It sounds great. It sounds really good.
And it is insanely quiet on the inside, you were right.
Which
Very
is
quiet.
crazy.
With the windows down, it's quiet.
Yeah, it isn't as loud on the outside as it is on the inside. You would think it would be louder in here, which I think is really good. Really good exhaust, very much needed.
I probably shouldn't be watching Twitch as I'm driving, but I just saw that Hurt was live. He's at top rank in Japan right now, and I thought it would probably be valuable to talk about it because Auto Salon is right now, which is essentially Japan's version of SEMA. Something that's really cool that I'm excited to post about, which I will on Instagram by the time this video goes out, is there is a really cool shop in Japan that built a Street Hunter car, and they went balls to the wall, and they always build some of my favorite builds I've ever seen have come from this shop. And they placed the order for the Street Hunter kit probably like 6 months ago, something like that. But they built a really cool car. I'm gonna post about it on Instagram when I do see it, because I'm really proud of it. And it's wild to me that a Street Hunter product is being debuted in arguably the most influential place in car culture. But I was just watching Twitch, Hurt and Tommy F, yeah, everyone are at Top Rank right now, and I saw it, and I was like, I gotta buzz in to see what all the boys are up to, because it's the next morning. It's like 10 a.m. there. It's like 6 p.m. here. I miss Japan. We're gonna be going back for Matsuri, for Ebisu in spring, but that's not for a few months. One of you just messaged me this on Instagram. Someone is selling, check this out. Dude, I was thinking about this. Someone is selling M2 carbon buckets or trade for comfort, $9,000. Guys, are these seats worth it? Are these seats worth it? They are so hard. I think I have to do it, bro. Oh my, that's an insane amount of money to spend on seats, but I think I have to do it. Those would be, dude, the carbon packs. And what's cool is it still has the red, white, and blue. Like, these are for the M2. I thought about maybe even trying to source like some G80 or G82 comp seats, but dude, I was thinking about, to be honest, I really like the seats in this car. The seats in this car are really nice. And I really do like the red and blue piping. The comp seats, $9 grand though. I just DM'd him. We'll see what he says. I was just like, yo, where are you located? Interested in the seats. $9 grand's a lot though for seats, for stock seats. If it was like a bucket seat, like a crazy carbon bucket seat or a car seat or something, those wouldn't even be that much. I don't know, should I do it? Should I not do it? Does anyone have any for sale that are cheaper than that? Hit me up. Also briefly, while we're on the topic of modifying the M2, I am going to do something different with this car. Well, I guess what I'll say is the color I wanna make it and the wheel choice we're gonna do, that I wanna do, is very different than anything I've done in the past. My first thought was like, oh, I wanna either just like paint match this car to the Brooklyn Gray or do a really cool wrap or paint job that's like an OE Porsche color, like UV purple or ruby star. And obviously wheels, you guys are like, oh, you just wanna do BBS's 88s. I'm gonna try something different. It's gonna be very different than what I normally do. I'm excited to try something different. That's outside of the norm. It makes it exciting. But just know it's gonna be different, but it's gonna be hot. Hopefully. It will be. It's gonna be good.
TJ said, I'm gonna go to the bathroom. Left the camera right there. That means film a clip for the vlog. So here, wow, I look like an elf right now.
We got a pork broth with spicy base on the side, right?
Oh, Kevin got a pork broth. Kevin, tell him where we're at.
Showed this to TJ and Serena like 2 months ago.
Bro, and Kevin got us addicted.
There's a moment and a stint where we went every single week for like 8 weeks straight.
For those of you that don't know and are uncultured, you order broth, it comes out, you can pick your broth, they dap you up with one of these, everybody gets veggies and noodles and tofu, and then they come out with like meat at like at Korean barbecue, and then you cook your meat in there. I'm cooking my quail eggs in there right now.
We just got home from dinner and your boy is so tired. Did about like 60 to 70 driver swings at the fitting. I'm super excited. I'll show you guys the new clubs when they get in. It's not gonna be in for a few weeks, but we got hooked up with some new stuff. I'm pretty stoked on it. Thank you guys for watching. Keely, you wanna say goodbye? Yeah? Okay, thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out and keep moving forward. Also, let me know if I should get those G82 comp seats or those G87 comp seats. I'm thinking about it, but $9 grand? That's so much money. I don't know. Okay, goodbye.